Howdy everybody. Okay, so in my previous video I showed some of the hot crypto pairs that you get with Binance. In this video I'm going to more talk about yet again another bot. Everything's pretty well been the same, but in this case what's really different is the exit indicator. The entries, the SMA. I'm not going to say it doesn't work, but it's not as effective as I want. A few days ago I talked about my local meetup, about how a lot of indicators, including averages, are not able to keep up with the fast price changes that you would get in cryptocurrency, as an example. So usually your best effective way is to set targets for entries and exits. Just try to figure out what works best because it's simple math. So I'm going to talk about that here, my experience with crypto and Binance overall. As I've said, I would love to be able to sit here and say, hey, I want to focus on all the different markets that Binance gives as a crypto exchange. Right now I trade in Ethereum. I've gone over all the different coins that are trading pretty good on Binance. Even though there was a $1,300 drop in Bitcoin this morning, thanks to Mr. Zuckbuck and the clowns over in the U.S. Congress. But there is still opportunity here, and they're very, 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 very nice opportunities. I talked about Chainlink. Here is Chainlink was up in the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, was up 2.4% or something like that in 1 hour. Did you get that with your Forex? Probably not. So again, that is not with any form of leverage. Here you can see on the 24-hour moves on just these coins that are the top performers right now, were all not just losses, but big losses, 7%, 8%, so on. Like, these are massive losses. But yet there are a subset of coins that do pretty good. Chainlink, BNB, Binance Coin, as I shown in the other video. So let's talk about what we're doing. So right now, this bot, and I got to first talk about this. This is my best sales page. That's why I push it. If you want to know everything, what I do, no matter where you're at, this is where you want to be. With learning trading, algo trading secrets, trading about all that stuff. Get them now. There's no limit. They're free. Just sign up, and you get yourself some books. Plus, I'll throw you in the newsletter as well. The latest update that I just put up was my blog here on what I put up. I've got now, in the last 2 weeks, I put up 3 big videos with source code, which is built around my Python course. But one last night I did, hour and a half, and I went through all the debugging techniques that I use. And it's still evolving. That's why I want people to get into this elite thing for 3 years. And you can learn as I move forward. And now, for the first time, I'm actually providing source code and walkthroughs and videos. So with that in mind, we also got the course, Python course as well. Both will be going up as value starts to build with hopefully this little guy here, this bot. So continuing along, we've got our watch list, which I believe is the best way to break this stuff out. You see something of interest, meeting certain criteria, put it on a watch list. Then it sits in your database, like here in Redis, again, part of the Python course. Show you how to do that. And then once you are able to trigger that order, move it into positions, and then have another script, Python script that will watch it and know when to get out. Here, this is live, okay? This is the bot right here. All right, so it's generating charts. It's generating all the movers out there in all the crypto land, and it will trade only right now against Ethereum. I need to be convinced that against BNB and maybe USD. Well, actually, tethered USDT and any of the US cryptos are just too expensive. They want $10 equivalent to test that. So I'm not really interested in that type of trade. The next one up would probably be Bitcoin. But I've shown the charts in the previous video, so I'm not going to do that. But what I really want to talk about in this video is the triggers to use on the order and the exit, or the entry and the exit. These are the most critical points. There's all these different indicators that you can use with TALib, which again I show in the Python course, that you can use, including candles. You can also use other techniques and a combination of them as well. And different time frames can also help combined determine entry and exit logic. For this one, to see if it's working, it takes about 10, maybe half an hour, tops 1 hour to get the core of it running. The hard part is being able to test this puppy and adjust and change the conditions, change the trading rules for the entry and exit. Because I know the entries are good. I've shown the charts. I've got good up bars. Now again, when you're in Binance, you can only long only. There's no shorting. So in here, there is opportunity, especially with, again, Chainlink and BNB. It's just getting them timed right. What's different about this particular bot, I've talked to, I guess, one of my students last night regarding all the different available options for exit indicators. Originally, I wanted to use Fibonacci levels, so let me just pull up one chart at least that. Let's see here, what can we use? Let's look at the Chainlink. So we shall look at Chainlink here. And this will update itself within this program, unlike in Windows. So we'll be able to see what's going on with ATR, which is what I'm using, average true range. And we'll show you the difference between, so we have the buy mode and the Fibonacci. So here we have here the watch. So this is now in the watch mode on this particular pair, hourly data. As you can see here on this chart, we had a good opportunity to get in on this as it moves up. So that's what this bot did. And you can see here, it got in on the third bar. And let me see here. So as I said, this will automatically update. Oh, I was running these problems. Give me a minute. I'll reload this stuff. All right. So here we go. Yay. Okay. So we should have a couple of charts here. So let's go to the watch mode right here. So it's watching, and now it buys into third bar up. After that, it buys the entry. So what we're looking at is right here on the hourly is when that entry took place. And watching it live now, it is moving up. So it's ticking up. As I said, the exit indicator, if this works out, is the level, which used to be a Fibonacci level. So let me show you that here. Or probably, I guess there's no Fib watch right here. So this is really good for debugging as well. So somewhere in here, that entry should have taken place. So the price moved up, hit here, and we're using the ATR. So there's different conditions looking at this now. I'm going to assume that the entry took place around here, and we should have exited right here because it hit the Fibonacci level 1, in this case on this chart, and then just exit the trade, but it's still hanging on because of that's the only exit condition I'm using. So right here with the Fibonacci. So that's considered a bug, I would think, and then be able to have an additional exit condition to exit on to exit once it hits this level 1. Because once the entry takes place right around here somewhere, we know that we just don't know where that price is going to go. Luckily, it went up. It hit that level 1. We should have exited and just take the trade and bye-bye and taken our money. But again, that's a fix that I need to take care of. Another one I am going to look at is good old TRX. Let me just pull that up because that's another position. So we're doing this live, and this is another technique I use to debug. So let me just see here. So we're gonna get 4 charts. Boom, boom. Okay, there's 4 charts. Okay, so we have our buy and watch. So let's go over the watch. So it's watching right now live. Okay. And again, these get updated as we go through. So let me just see where our entry would have been. So this kind of makes sense here. On the 2 small moves, so we're probably right here, here, entry right here. So we did get now an up move. It looks like. So am I kidding myself? We have this bar here. Yeah, I think we might be on an up move. But I do have some things here we need to talk about. So we did our buy here at above the level. So, I can see why the positions, this is a rare move. So I have here my Fibonacci's are above the level 1. I think it's the first time I've ever seen a price above 1. So there's 2 conditions we can do here, is to either exit, thinking about it, I could either exit, as I said, at level 1, as in here, on the in the previous one with Chainlink, and just take the trade at level 1, or just maybe, historically in this data set, this is a tough one. It's going to rely on the ATR, I think, to exit that trade if it moves up to that level. Now, ATR, let's talk about ATR. There's a lot of confusing, no different than with ATR and Fibonacci levels. First, the ATR and the Fibonacci, when you update read data, make sure that when you are adding to the watch list, like in here in the database, you'll see these values here. These are all the fib levels right here. And then in there would be the ATR, last ATR, which is really good. That's the last ATR when you do a poll using TA lid. So with that, you don't want to change any of this data. You don't want to change the fib levels, the Fibonacci levels. You don't want to change the ATR at all once you've added to the watch list. If you do that, what will happen is you will be having let's say a new position as I have here, and you're changing the goalposts. So as the position moves up and down with the price, at the same time you're also changing the Fibonacci levels and the ATR, which kind of confuses everything and will never get closed. So you've got to make sure you're never closing or changing the Fibonacci levels or the ATR or anything once you add it to the watch list. That has to stay in place, and that has messed me up so much, wasted a lot of my time until I'm making sure now that when I do add to the watch list that we do not change the Fibonacci levels or the ATR levels. Very important. Once we get past that, and as part of the evolution of this bot, as I've hinted at, we then got to figure out when do we exit, because here in these examples I'm giving you is it's the best word to use. It's fluid. So there's two ways to exit maybe with this bot. So again, this is why you're always modifying these bots, because as evolution hits, you have so many different conditions on when you have an open position, on when to truly exit. The best two suggestions I can think of is the ATR, and keeping, as I said, keeping the original ATR when you generate and add it to the watch list, and don't change that ATR. Once your position breaks through that ATR level on the original price of the entry, get out of the position. The other condition is once it hits that, as I've shown you, level 1, get out of the position. Okay, so you're not really using or signaling back. If you were to do this in Forex or with, in this case, an exchange like Binance, you're not signaling back to the broker or the exchange on what you're setting on your exit. You keep it within your system like you are here in Redis. That's the beautiful part. So you never have to worry about getting kicked out of a trade because you've signaled back to the broker what your stop loss would be, or your take profit. Another one that was suggested as an exit indicator was a trailing stop. I don't think that'll work, because I have tried that for a very long time, and if you're changing your trailing stop as the price moves, at some point it will not hit the max. And in the world of crypto, and the way how fast crypto works, you could get, and I've shown you multiple times here, down bars, the moves can be so swift that it will take you out a lot faster. So you're better off just to work in the world of probability and take small profit on each position where you can on the original ATR that you set and the original Fibonacci levels that you set, instead of changing it as the position and the price moves up or down, depending on if you're long or shorting. So I just think that might be better, and you can get away with that in the world of crypto. Why? Because you are able to trade very tiny profit levels, but not really worry about the commission fee being so high, where it's, as I said, it's negligible. So even if you have a price that's moving up, and as it keeps adding it to the watch list, it's readjusting itself once the other positions close. So one thing is, I'll mention right here, the way this bot is, and it's going to be very limited in what it can profit, is it will only do one position at a time for one particular pair or coin in Ethereum. So in this case, we have two positions on Link and Tron. So if there were more opportunities of Link and Tron being coming about once we started these positions, this bot, as of right now, is limited to only work on these positions right now, because it just adds confusion to all the conditions and stuff. But I will say from my perspective, I traded like this at the get-go back in December, only having one position on for one particular coin or pair, and it was profitable. But what made it mad money, where the returns were like 10, 12, 30% a day, I did away with that limit and I could have additional positions added to this list with Link Ethereum, or sorry, that is another Link Ethereum pair as a second position, even though there's another one already open, and you do away with that limit, you will exponentially make more money, even though it's only a small subset of coins. What do you care? It's all about making cash. You get rid of that limit, you will be able to make a lot more. But obviously, it's going to be on the downside too. But we hope that your ATR or your fib levels on the lower side will kick in if you code it that way. So this is again part of the evolution of things in this bot. So let me think here. No. So if I go back to the charts, let's see. Where is my preview? Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I could go on. But hopefully you learned quite a bit today. And if you got any questions, your best bet, if things prove right what it was back in December where the returns were just crazy, I don't see any reason. And this time it's verified through, as I say, cointracking.info. Once we go live with this, if it works out, even with tiny profit, I'll take and put up on the tracking info. But if I see a lot of opportunity here in a pretty well dead crypto market and the opportunities are still there, I'll gladly get rid of that limitation on the positions, because this is the place to be in Ethereum market on Binance using these particular coins I've shown and in the previous video. This is the beauty of crypto versus forex. So again, if you want to know more, just come over to the quantlabs.net/book. If you're really interested, I'd strongly recommend you get on that course. You can find it in the store. If you really want to get the 10-year archive, plus my private chat server, which I'm not even mentioned yet, I put up some really interesting stuff on that last night or yesterday as well. You get a lifetime access to that. So those are the two things I can recommend if you want and learn and make money. And you probably make money back the way I'm going, despite the position sizing. You could probably do pretty good. I'm getting more and more confident this is the way to go, instead of just being focused on forex and crypto, and not be able to do the same kind of performance I can get and see with crypto. Whereas I just rather focus on that, on crypto, show something where you can make money, and then verify that, and just focus on that, because I think once people see that, that's when they'll be highly interested in this sort of stuff. Other than that, we shall talk to you later. And thanks for watching. And I think I maybe done for the day or on the video front. But other than that, we shall talk to you later. Have a good day. Later.